cosmetics brand LUSH is known for its multicolored bath bombs that fizz when you throw them in the water, its range of uniquely named cruelty-free shower gels, and its stores at the mall, which you can often smell before you can see. Maybe you connect with its philosophy and product line, but tomorrow you'll have fewer ways to connect with the company itself. LUSH has announced that it is deactivating its Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat pages across all 48 countries it operates in. Hilary Jones is the Global Ethics Director for LUSH. We reached her in Dorset, England.
Hilary, why has LUSH decided to quit these social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat?
It's been a long journey, us quitting, to be honest. It might seem sudden to others, but we've had our concerns for a long time, and we've tried to come off social before. We did for a while back in 2019, but obviously then the pandemic hit, and everyone was sort of leaning quite heavily on social media to communicate. So we started posting again. But during lockdown, we also worked with a group called I Am Whole on their very first digital detox day. What we found was that young people were joining in with us, and our customers and their followers were trying to join in on that digital detox day. But actually, most of them failed. Lots of them failed. And we realized that there's this compulsion that young people can't switch off because they're afraid that everything else is on there and they're the only thing that isn't. So there was that worry of ours. And then the Facebook files hit. You know, when you read that Facebook themselves have seen this harm and seen these problems, have investigated what it is that they're doing that causes that, and have found solutions and what they need to do to stop that happening and to change and to make it more user-friendly, but chose not to because they realized that those changes would mean less advertising revenue. And you know, when you see that, you know, childhood suicide rates are up, it's causing massive mental health problems, all fed by this constant stream.
Yes, and you're referring to is what we have been covering, that this revelation from this whistleblower, Frances Haugen, who in her testimony in Washington, and she also released documents to show that Facebook was aware of the effect that Instagram was having on young girls especially. But when you talk about this sort of social media detox that you took part in, I mean, yes, individuals do that because they just got to for their mental health. But as a business, don't you lose out? What does this do to your business?
We don't know. We'll have to see. But the point is that once you know those things, you can't just carry on. When you're inviting your young customers to meet you somewhere, you want to know that's safe. You know, we wouldn't open a shop in a dangerous area of town and expect our customers to come to that. And online is starting to feel like that. You know, social media is starting to feel like it's not a safe place for young people. And so if we're on there, we're part of the problem, not part of the solution.
But you are staying on Twitter, which can be very toxic, very vile at times. And you're also staying on YouTube, which is often accused of luring people into lots of QAnon conspiracies, white supremacy propaganda. We've seen some very vile things on YouTube and how it affects people and how it lures people in. So why stay on those platforms?
Yeah, no, we totally accept that. But, you know, what we're saying is that Facebook know the harms and have chosen not to change. Twitter, on the other hand, very publicly have said that they are putting a lot of effort and really boosting their teams and putting it center of what they do, the ethics of their algorithms, which is obviously the algorithms are where the problem lies. So, you know, some of these organizations are catching up, you know, they're trying to put right the harms, but others aren't. And we're left in a situation where, you know, we are having to judge and everyone's having to judge because it's so not transparent. You know, how these, it's unregulated. The whole internet and the whole of social media has run ahead of the regulators because it's such a technical subject that all of us just think is a magic box of tricks. And we don't understand how it works, and therefore it hasn't been regulated in the way that other products are for the safety of their users.
I just want to go back to YouTube because YouTube is aware of the algorithms and quite deliberately so knows what it does, knows who it draws in, and that they're taken to places where we see a lot of this hate. And so why stay on YouTube?
They're saying they're going to change. As I said, we're poised to jump off all of them if we have to. We're waiting to see change. We're waiting to see regulation. But where the harm is proved and the companies have proved that they're not willing to change, then there's no choice for us but to get off. So, we're not saying we're perfect. We're not saying that we've got all the answers because we don't know the answers. But what we do know is that we are desperately uncomfortable asking our customers to come on to some of these channels where we know that there's no desire at the center of those companies to do anything about it.
But I wonder how effective you think this can be. We saw about a year ago, really big corporations took part in a boycott of paid Facebook ads as part of the Stop Hate for Profit campaign, you might remember. But it's gone away, and Facebook hasn't met those demands at all. So what do you think you can really accomplish here?
I don't think we set out to... with this as a campaigning issue, we literally all looked at the Facebook files and as a company felt that it was an ingredient we couldn't have in our mix anymore. And it was more that than, I don't think we're big enough to affect Facebook. It would be lovely if companies like us could come off and affect them, but I suspect they're too big for that. It's the regulators and it's governments and it's international bodies that need to get control of this. And all any of us can do is just choose how we use it ourselves in the meanwhile, while we wait for our lawmakers to catch up.
Hillary, we'll leave it there, and I appreciate speaking with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.